Hi, this is Ina.
And this is Nikki. And you're tuned into SOPHI Radio.
This is a podcast where we talk about all the random things in life.
Be it something about food,
Movies,
hobbies,
health, anything under the sun really.
this podcast is for you.
Today on the show, we are going to talk about hobbies that we picked up during the pandemic.
Hey, so how have you been lately?
I've been good. I recently just started my Instagram live.
Yes, that
On my
a lot of
personal
us were
Instagram.
present in. Although it was dark, it was very fun.
I didn't turn on the camera. So aside from that, that's one of the hobbies I recently just picked up.
Well, for me, I think I picked up playing board games a lot because I think I played like every day now at this point.
What kind of board games have you been playing?
There's Road to El Dorado. There's train ticket game. I forgot the name. I'm so sorry.
We played Splendor.
Yeah. Yes, we did. We love Splendor.
And you're also into calligraphy?
You're also into calligraphy. We're both into calligraphy. But that comes during the pandemic because I just kept
That
playing
happened
board
before
games.
the
Before pandemic because we attended a class.
We did.
Yes.
So, without further ado, we will introduce our guests for today. We have Katrina D, our Client Success Associate, and we have Mafet Abelion, Senior Finance Officer. As you all know, we are in the support department of SOPHI. You guys know each other, right?
Yeah,
How did you guys know each other?
we work together all the time.
Yeah.
Our jobs are closely related, so my job is under sales and her job is under billing. So every time there's a problem, we have to communicate with the clients, and we're pretty much a tag team for doing stuff at the office. So when I got hired, it was during the pandemic, and we were in lockdown, and I started working from home. But Mafet and I worked so closely together that I would chat her every single day. We would make jokes on Google Hangouts. We would definitely work through different problems together. And so she was probably the number one person I talked to every single day, but only online. So I've never seen her in person. And the first time I started working from the office again, I saw Mafet and she would say hi to me, but I'd be so shy because I would be thinking, who is this person? I don't know this person. And she'd be wondering, how come she doesn't talk to me? But then when she gets into her station, she'll chat me, she'll like send me smiley faces. And she thought, well, maybe Kat's just weird.
No, not weird. Maybe you're just shy.
Yeah. But I genuinely didn't know it was her. And then I told people, there's this girl named Mafet. We work together every single day. I chat her on Google, but I've never seen her. And I'm like, Kat, what do you mean you've never seen her? You were literally sitting like right next to her at the admin office just a few minutes ago. And I'm like, I was? And just, yeah, the girl who said hi to you, that was Mafet. I thought, oh my goodness, I had no idea it was Mafet.
Like that was our first meeting.
That was our first meeting. I was so awkward. And then I had to walk up to her and say, hey, are you Mafet? And she
I was
said,
like in my head, finally. Finally, Kat.
I really didn't know.
So that was our your meet cute. Our meet cute, yeah, our meet cute. It's like online dating or something. Hi, Ate Ina and Nikki. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here. Wow. That was like the general podcast guest spiel, right? So just had to take my chances. I am doing good, and I hope you guys are doing good as well. I just started my shift, so I still have a lot of energy right now. So we need to make use of it because it's gonna dwindle out for the rest of the day. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me and for letting me talk about some of the things that I'm interested in.
Yes. So today we are talking about their hobbies.
Yes.
Aside from our hobbies, but let's not focus on ourselves. Katrina is gonna be talking about plants, while Mafet is gonna be talking about astrology.
Those.
Everyone has been into it lately, like the zodiacs and the plants and
And
the
the
trends.
suns and the moon.
Let's start with Katrina.
Yeah.
So, Kat.
Cat with your literal plant right now.
Is it one of your plans?
Yeah, but I'm giving this away to Krishan. Krishan. So I had a plant.
What
This
is
called
that?
the Wandering Jew, but the scientific name is Turdiscanthia zebrina.
Oh my god.
Wow.
You know their scientific names.
And basically, it's a very easy plant to take care of. You can cut a piece of this, stick it in the soil, it'll grow roots in a few days and grow into a new plant. So it's a very easy plant to care for, but it is a very thirsty plant, so during the summer you have to water it every day. And I love how Maha's going to be talking about the stars.
Yep.
But before we do that, we have to get back down to earth.
Yeah.
Basically, the earth and the sky
Yes.
today. So yeah, before the pandemic, I've always loved plants. I read a research that proves that if you actually look at a plant, it will significantly lower your anxiety and
Yes.
depression levels. Plants are really effective at lowering stress. It's not even just the physical plant itself, even pictures of plants, wallpapers of plants, drawings of plants have been proven to improve your mood. So it's not just good for the environment, it's also good for your mental health as well. But the pandemic really turned the volume up with my hobbies. So I was interested in plants way back in, 2014, 2015. And I started collecting a few plants here and there. But the great thing about the pandemic is that when people really got interested in plants, a lot of rare species of plants started to become available. So before, back in 2014, you couldn't find Monstera perus, you couldn't find Monstera deliciosa, you couldn't even find philodendron silver swords and other rare species of plants. And now they're almost everywhere. You can find Birkins, you can find all sorts of stuff in the market. The only sad thing about the pandemic, though, is that because the demand of plants has increased, the prices have also increased. So
That is true.
had a philodendron, Prince of Orange. It was a really huge plant when I got it. For those of you who don't know what a Prince of Orange is, it's a tricolor plant. So the leaves start out with a reddish color, and as it unfurls, it'll actually change from red to orange to yellow and then finally green. So when you look at this plant, it changes colors as it evolves and grows, and it's a very large leaf plant. You can have one leaf be 12 to 14 inches wide. So it's a very huge leaf, very dramatic looking plant. I bought it for only 500 pesos. Now it's like 4K. So
Wow.
the pandemic has really increased the prices of a lot of different plants, but some, which is kind of a bad thing, but at the same time, it has also made people more aware that there are these different species and that, some plants which I couldn't even find before are suddenly available. So it's a give or take. There's like a pros and cons in the process, where the cons is that plants that used to be very, very cheap are now very expensive. But the pros, if you're a plant lover, is that plants that you just couldn't find anywhere, even if you really wanted it, even if you had all the money in the world, are now suddenly available. So that's kind of what the pandemic changed for me. So when people first start getting into plants, the first thing they'll say is, I can't be a plant person, I can't be a gardener, I am a plant killer, I have a black thumb, I will just kill all plants. I've killed cacti, a freaking cactus died in my hands. But what they don't understand is that different plants have different needs, different
That's true.
personalities, if you will. And it really depends on what kind of person you are. So most of the time, a lot of plants die from overwatering rather than underwatering.
Yeah.
Because people will get a new plant and they will say, I love this plant so much, I will take care of this plant, I will water it every single day. And it gets overwatered because of root rot. They don't realize that roots also need oxygen to breathe, and there's a little bit of oxygen in the soil. And when you put too much water, you're suffocating the roots, and you're also causing all sorts of fungi and other things to grow underneath the soil. It rots the roots, and the plant eventually dies. So they'll overwater it when really they should just water it the right amount. So when people say that they're bad at taking care of plants, what I would tell them is that you just haven't found the right plant for your personality. So if you're the kind of person who loves to water your plants every day, maybe consider getting a wandering Jew or a zebra plant. You can also get Mayanas or Coleus, however you want to call it. These are plants that really love to be watered. They really love all the extra attention that you give to them. But if you're the kind of person who doesn't remember to water the plants, maybe you can consider getting succulents or cacti. These are plants that don't really need a lot of watering. Another plant that will thrive in neglect is the ZZ plant. And the ZZ plant, will literally just be there and survive on its own without you having to do a lot of things. Another factor that would cause your plants to be unhealthy would be the amount of sunlight that you have. So a lot of times people will find a plant and they say, oh, this is so beautiful, I just want this in my living room, or I want to put this in my bedroom, and they don't think about the fact that that plant might need a lot more sunlight than you're giving it. So if a plant requires so much sunlight, consider putting it outdoors instead or near a window. And if you really want plants, in the living room, because sometimes people will look at Pinterest or they look at Instagram and they'll say, there are all these urban jungles. How did these people fill up their homes with so many plants, right?
That's me. I go on pictures all the time.
You would have to look for a low light plant. So a pothos is a great low light plant. I know I mentioned ZZ before, but I'm telling you, ZZ plants unkillable, absolutely unkillable. So you could have a ZZ plant. Maybe you can have some type of prayer plant. Some species of aglaonema as well are low light tolerant. Also some philodendrons, and yeah. So basically, what you'd have to do if you know that the lighting situation in your house is not that great, you'd have to look for a low light tolerant plant. A very common one that's also very affordable is a snake plant.
Yes, very much so. I would agree.
They used to be called Sansevierias, but now
Yes, my mom
people. They used to be called Sansevierias, but now they're called Dracaenas for some weird reason. The snake plant, yeah. They call it a mother-in-law tongue plant. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a very spiky looking plant. We have some outside the SOPHI office, actually. It's a spiky plant near the stairs.
Yeah, I think I know that now. It's the only thing that I can recognize out of all the plants that you said.
And some people call it a snake plant, some people call it a mother-in-law plant, yeah.
Why? Mother-in-law.
No. Because mother-in-laws are snakes.
What is
I wasn't the one who named the plants. And then for the longest time, people call them Sansevierias, and then someone decided, no, actually they're Dracaenas, and now it's like, okay, I don't know what to call it even. It's a very common plant, very inexpensive. You can buy one for 50 pesos. Or you can just, I don't know, maybe ask your neighbor, a kind neighbor, to give you a
Yeah, it's very easy to grow too.
They're very
like
easy
my
to
mom
grow.
just gives them out to people really easily.
Yeah,
You just put in a different pot.
exactly. And they're low light tolerant, so you can have them indoors, you can have them outdoors.
Yes.
They're perfect for any home space.
They're perfect for the bathroom.
They
To give
are.
bathroom a little life, I guess.
Just one thing to remember though about low light plants is that low light is not no light.
Yeah.
Meaning they still need light, just don't put them in a dark room
Yeah.
with no windows or anything. So you'll know something's low light if you can still read a book. If there's still some form of window inside that room.
Yeah.
But that is low light from a plant's perspective because it's not enough sunlight for most plants to really survive and photosynthesize.
Yeah. Because what my mom actually does with them is she alternates them. So she has like a bunch. So, you know, there's one that's in the house for like a week or like less, and then she changes it with another plant. And then so that it gets light from the actual sun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what she usually does.
Yeah, and that's the perfect strategy.
Yeah,
it's
to
also
just
the
have more.
perfect. Yeah, that's the perfect
Have more.
excuse. It's like I need more plants. Why? Because Monday I need this plant to be here and this plant to be outside, and then Tuesday we have to switch places. So I just need more plants.
You mentioned something about the ZZ plant. What is the ZZ plant?
What's that look
Yeah,
like?
I know what
I-
a ZZ plant is.
Can't.
So it sounds cute.
I can't quite
Yeah.
remember.
Is it cute? Is it low?
It's
You mentioned something
cute.
about low maintenance.
It's low maintenance. It
Unkillable.
has this
Unkillable,
very
yeah.
long stem, and then each leaf comes in pairs.
That sounds cute.
It's a very adorable looking plant. It's succulent in a way that the leaves are quite thick and waxy. It has a very nice sheen to it. The color is a deep emerald color, but there are also raven ZZ plants which come in black. So if you're feeling a little goth,
Oh god.
you can have a raven ZZ plant instead of the regular ZZ
Is that
plant.
expensive?
The normal ZZ plant, you can get it for like 100 or 150 pesos. It's quite common. Some people call it the welcome plant.
The welcome plant.
I have those at home.
I think we have those at home.
But
Yeah,
the
we have those
ZZ
at
raven,
That's how you do.
a very small ZZ raven. There's a ZZ raven right outside of SOPHI. They're selling it for 1,000 pesos.
Oh my
And it's
Oh, the ones
tiny.
over there?
It is tiny. It is about as big as my hand. It is that small. A large raven ZZ plant costs several thousands depending on
Oh wait,
its size.
it's so expensive. Is it very rare?
It's rare because of the black color,
Color.
and it's also a lot harder to grow. It's because it lacks the chlorophyll. That's the problem with certain plants, especially things like if you get into plants and if you follow any Instagram account with a lot of plants, you'll start seeing things like philodendron pink princess, and you look at it and you're like, wow, it has pink leaves. Or you'll
Yeah.
see like ZZ black raven and you're like, wow, it has black leaves. But a lot of these times, a lot of the times, these specialized plants or these hybrids are a lot more difficult to care for because they need certain sunlight requirements to hold their color. And if you don't have enough sunlight,
Yeah.
it kind of loses its color as
That's
well.
true.
So
Okay.
I know people who would spend, and this might shock people, 20 to 30,000
I've seen those
on
plants.
a philodendron pink princess plant. And the sad thing is, a few months later, the pink leaves turn brown
Yeah.
because they didn't know how to maintain the color.
Ah.
So it's a kind of an expensive hobby depending on how
It
far
is an
into
expensive
it
house.
you get, but it doesn't have to be. If you're looking for inexpensive and very affordable plants, you can go to the post office in the Magata.
Yeah.
There's a place there that sells really cheap plants for 30 pesos,
Ah, okay,
40
okay,
pesos.
yeah.
Beside
50
Bright
pesos.
Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have soil too.
And they have soil too. I think
That
it's
is true.
soil.
They have like Bermuda grass. They have different grass there as well. Carabao, Bermuda, and all
Yeah.
that.
So it's a very inexpensive place to buy plants. Another place would be Valencia, but again, it depends on whether or not you're buying a common plant or a very rare, expensive plant.
And also, if you're willing to drive to Valencia.
And also, if you're willing to drive to Valencia, the only thing I would advise people to do is to shop with caution, because I've seen people during the pandemic, they would sell a plant that's very common. It only costs 50 pesos. It's so common, but it's a beautiful aglaonema, and they'd sell it for like 1,800.
Yes.
And I'd
Some
look
people
at it and
will
I'd be
price
like, why? Like, literally, this is 50 pesos. If you guys want this plant, just don't pay 1.8 for it. It's not a rare plant. It's been around for ages. You can probably get it for free from your grandmother, you know. So
Yeah, there are some areas in Valencia that have cheaper prices of plants. You just have to look for them.
yeah, you just have to look for them. And maybe that's part of the fun, you know. It's an adventure trying to figure out, you know,
You
what
just
the
have to
plant
ask anyone around.
prices are.
You got into plants, right?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
you also
I'm
get
into succulents.
Oh, succulents. Because they're low maintenance.
Yeah, they're very low maintenance, and I bought like only a few, and then some of the petals I took out some of the petals and then propagate them. I don't want to focus on getting too much because that happened to me before and everything died.
Everything died?
Yeah, everything died, and then I learned my lesson, and after during the pandemic I started buying again, and then that's how it continued. Also, my mom has plants, so everywhere you see at home, it's all greens.
Yes.
Is
But
she
that's
an earth sign?
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later.
And your mom too, right?
Yeah, my mom loves gardening. Ina would know because she's been to my house. There's a lot of plants. I don't know their names, but there's a lot. And she keeps complaining why some sellers overprice so many plants, which pisses her off. But she doesn't really buy the plants because she already has
Yeah.
a ton of plants. But yeah, right now she's just giving plants away. I can plant and stuff, but it's not a hobby to which I do it every day with my mom. So my mom's like, Nikki, who's gonna take care of my garden when I grow old? I'm like, I don't know, Mom, maybe I'll find an afam and then hire a gardener. I don't know. But no, I'll because I love my mom so much. Of course, I'm gonna keep her garden going because that's like her number one love in life is a garden. Like she got a tattoo with an orchid because that's like her favorite thing to plant. And yeah, I can attest to like when you say like, you know, plants, greens, like they really refresh you. Because like when we were working from home, sometimes I'd get stressed like on a day shift. So I just go out and I just stare at the garden. I'm like, oh, I feel so refreshed. But yeah, it does feel refreshing to just, you know, take your eyes off the screen and just like look outside or like look at the plant.
What's next on our list?
Muffet?
Oh, we're done with the plants?
I feel like there's a lot more that we could talk about because all of us are interested in plants, but we'd have to put a time limit on ourselves.
Yeah.
I know
True,
you
true.
like plants, but this is enough.
Moving on. Now that we're done with our
Plant.
plants
Talk.
and earthy talk, we will proceed to our stars talk, or the universe.
All the
Which
woo stuff.
With Muffet.
Hey, thank you for having me, your resident woo girl.
Woo!
Girl. I don't know. It's just a term that I recently found these days. Woo. It's nice and it resonated with me, but because I'm into astrology and into the into spirituality. But I think I haven't realized this before, but ever since I was young, I was also really into the other dimension things, or not just in this
Oh.
physical plane, but not
Like
the.
what spirit of the glass things?
I know because I'm also a scaredy cat, so
Okay.
I don't go there.
Uh-huh.
But I am really just interested in magic or something.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Harry
No.
Potter.
Yeah, I got really interested with that.
Hermione
So I didn't really know that it was called woo-woo or spirituality before, but I've just recently found out when, just like around 3 years ago lang, after, did I say lang? Sorry. after college, and then it's just nice because while you're scrolling through social media and you see some posts and you're like, wow, this resonates with me. And of course, we feel good when something resonates with us. So
Yeah.
I think that's what started me with astrology. So I got into the zodiacs, and I only researched about my sign because I want to get to know me more. So I think that's also the basis of why I got really into astrology, because astrology is a language, it's a tool that you can use to really get to know yourself a little bit more. So during the pandemic, I got a lot of time on my hands, and it was also a time where negative thoughts really visit you every day because you have a lot of time. And I figured out that since we cannot go out, we cannot meet people, it's probably about time that you meet yourself.
Oh, Mafet 2021.
So I decided to okay, 2020 is going to be about me, about getting to know myself, about spirituality. So because growing up, I've always associated myself with the physical things, like what I can give, what I can achieve, all the outside things. So I probably know myself based on those, what I have, what's around me, my environment. So I don't really know myself that deeply. Of course, we grow, we change, our priorities change, our perspective in life changes every day, every month. So I was like, okay, let's try it out. So I got into astrology way before, and then I guess I kind of dived deeper, a little bit more deeper during the quarantine. Actually, I went from astrology and then numerology, and then I tried tarot readings, and then I attempted to try palm reading, but then I was like, no. So I think that was my fire sign in me, because I am a Leo moon, and we're gonna go into this deeper, but an overview, fire signs really tend to have a lot of energy, and they jump from place to place. And I think Atiina can relate because she's a sun sign.
Ooh,
Really?
you're a
A sun
sign?
sign, no, a fire sign. Yeah,
You're a fire
her sun sign is a fire sign.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
because you're a Sagittarius, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have knowledge
So-
in this.
Yeah,
That's why we're here.
That's why we are here, guys. So I think that was my Leo moon speaking as well. So I jumped from astrology and all the woo-woo stuff and spirituality. Yeah, those were really interesting topics for me. But then I was also like, my sun sign is earth sign. I'm a Capricorn, so a Capricorn is like stable, structure, organized, like that. So I was like,
That made me understand my mom more, because she's a Capricorn.
oh, your mom is a Capricorn?
Yeah, she's a Capricorn.
Makes sense because she has a garden.
Yeah, she loves gardening.
So I was like, I have to focus on one thing first, because that's Capricorn. So,
Yeah.
and my rising was also Aquarius. So Aquarius is
Double rising.
yeah. sorry. Maybe am I talking too fast or like?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll
Continue.
Yeah,
Continue,
We have
continue.
questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questions later. So I figured out I should focus more on astrology, but I did for a few months, and then I was like, no, I gotta try another interest, another woo-woo. But astrology for me really is, the definition of astrology is, it has a lot of definition, but for me what resonated mostly was it is a language, a tool that helps us to understand ourselves more, to tickle us back to our natural and instinctual nature, and with that we can use those knowledge, understand ourselves more, so that we can move forward with life with ease. So we will go with the flow, with the current, and not go the other way around. So that's basically astrology, your map to where you want to go or where you are supposed to go in life. So that was my first experience with astrology, and then here I am now. I am still trying to figure out some things because it is the oldest science. I think so. Yeah, it is the oldest science in the world. And it has a lot of depth pa, and I am still in the surface, so I can understand some people now because of the zodiac signs. Like, oh my gosh, are you an earth sign? I can do that.
I'm an Aries, I'm an Aquarius, I'm a Cancer.
Yeah. So I'm actually at that level already that I can understand people a bit because that's your personality type. But of course it's interesting because astrology and psychology need to be they need to work together so that we can understand people a lot more, because it's important to look at the stars but also look at how our minds work. So as above, so below. So that's the thing.
And you mentioned something about your moon, your sun,
Rising.
your rising,
Your
and then
rising.
there's another one that's the ascendant.
I think we
It's-
just learned about that really, really tinily because of our best friend as well, who's gotten into that also, and we were
Yeah.
all confused
She walked the
by what she sent us.
She walked that path.
Oh yeah. She did. What can you say later?
Oh, okay, so sun signs, we all know our sun sign because it's our core, our personality. Our core, our ego. That is our sun sign, and then our moon sign is our emotions, our internal world, and then our rising sign, our ascendant. That's the same lang. It's how we are seen outside, but there's this astrologer that I really like, and she teaches that your rising sign is where you are headed in your life. So that is how you should evolve to, or like that's where you are going. So that's where you should strive to be in. So I am a Capricorn sun, a Leo moon, and Aquarius rising. Okay, so that's the primal triad. I'm not sure what do you call that, but it's the holy three, the holy trinity of astrology. So you need your birth date, place of birth, and then time of birth in order for you to get your signs. And you know your Leo, your moon, your rising.
So I have a friend named Anna Kuzman. She's from Wisconsin.
Ooh.
She visited here in the Philippines a couple of years back because she wanted to help a foundation university with some projects. Anyway, she was really into astrology, and I didn't know that about her. One day she just asked me, Katrina, do you know your exact time of birth? Like your exact time of birth. And funnily enough, I actually do know my exact time of birth. I've seen it once before in my birth certificate. I know that I was born at exactly 9:21 a.m. in the morning. So I gave her my birthday, I gave her my time of birth, I gave her my place of birth, and she typed it all in, and I thought, okay, are you gonna steal my identity? What's happening? Why do you need this information? And then she gave me a birth chart and she said, you are a sun in Aquarius, Pisces rising with a Pisces moon, and your Venus is exalted in Pisces.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
It's all in your
But
birth chart.
okay, cool. What does that mean?
And did you say?
She said that if you're a Pisces rising, that's how you come across to the world. So she says it means that I come across as someone very dreamy. People with Pisces rising would have very deep eyes or something like that. I don't really know what that means. I'm like, okay, my eyes.
Yeah, there's that in astrology.
Apparently, it's also your appearance.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And I was just sitting there at a coffee shop listening to her, and I was thinking, oh, I didn't know, like just 1 minute ago you were asking about my birthday and my birth time, and now we're talking about the planets. And then from the planets, you're talking about my personality, and from my personality, now we're talking about my appearance. So she was really into it. And she was saying how the combination of being an air sign makes me a very intellectual person, but there's a lot of water into the mix, so I'm a very empathetic person as well.
Yeah.
Those are her words, not mine. I am not insinuating anything about myself. If you're listening to this thinking, no, I know Kat, she's not any of those things.
But you did appear to be
What?
dreamy. Yeah, you appear to be dreamy and then kind of shy.
And I told Maka about this, and she said, yeah, I can see it. I can see the Mars Isis thing in there. But I really don't know what it means. It was something that was introduced to me, but I never really delved into it.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like I just dipped my toes in the shallow end of the pool and never really fully understood what any of those meant. But I knew about it because of my friend. She just showed me the birth chart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's also this thing called elements. It's important that we know about the elements before we dive into the zodiac signs, because I think it is a little bit easier to comprehend what element you are, instead of just being the Capricorn, the Pisces, the Libra, and so on and so forth. So it's also important to know which group you belong in the mix. So there are 4 elements that all of us probably know of: fire, air, water, and earth. So yes,
4
Avatar.
4 nations live together in harmony.
Yeah, that's why I really love that show. Fire signs, we have the Aries, Leo, and the Sagittarius, the Archer. Yeah, the Ina representing. So the earth signs are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. And water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and
Cancer?
Cancer. Yes, you're a Cancer.
Cancer.
And then the air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and
Libra.
Libra.
Why do I know this? This is what happens when you hang out with people who are super into this.
Yeah, those are the 4 elements. So let's start with the fire signs. These are Ateina, Diane, Steven. I am just name dropping here.
Yeah,
I can see Diane.
She's the epitome of a fire sign. Sorry, Diane. Sorry, Diane.
Ooh, Diane.
But that's not a bad thing, because fire signs are really direct. Am I direct?
Are you?
Probably. But they are just this huge ball of energy that they don't.
Steven is a huge ball of energy.
Yeah, he is, right? So being a fire sign is that you jump from place to place,
Ina jumped
Try.
on this.
try things,
literally.
try a lot of new things, just keep the adventure going, the energy. What else? They are very direct, blunt, straight, and
Are you?
they're brave, and they are very passionate. When they love, they love.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
And fire signs are very expressive. They love to be the center
Really?
of attention. The
Really?
party goers.
I think she's not that type though, like the
But-
center of
But you
attention.
are very expressive in a way. You just had your live.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
With
your
the camera
fire sign.
off.
With the camera
So-
off. So
You gotta
we're
say,
getting
"Okay,
there.
see my face, so you can't really see my expressions there.
Yeah, but we're getting there. What else? Next element is the earth element. They are very stable. They love structure. They love
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
They love getting things done. They love results, concrete results. I'm just gonna name drop myself. Miss Chloe.
Oh, really?
Who else? Who else an earth sign? Nikki's mom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who else? Who else? No. I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
what are the signs? Or what are the...
What's your sign?
Which
Ah,
one?
Edgar is an earth
Sun,
sign.
the moon.
No, like your
Virgo,
birthday sign.
Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Rumel is an earth sign. We're done with the earth. Let's go to water. Water? Is that water?
Yeah.
Okay, so water are very emotional people.
That's true. I'm a strong Cancer. Every time I read anything about Cancers, I'm like, yeah, that's me.
That's you.
The highs and the lows.
Yeah,
very
they are
obvious.
very sensitive to other people's emotions. They are just like, oh, you just want to hug them, just want to be with them because you will know that they can see right through you and they accept you for who you are. And then you can just be with yourself when you're around them. They're like probably the mom and dad in the group.
She's laughing.
I'm laughing
Is
because
that
I'm not.
true?
In our group, I'm the baby.
Oh, you're the baby, but
I'm the spoiled child.
yeah, they are just so sweet, I think. But they tend to also be really emotional, not in a good way.
That is true. That is true.
Mhm.
I agree.
They have self-destructive behaviors.
I agree. I agree with that very strongly.
But you know, water controls everything. Water is life, so they are
Yes.
life itself.
I want a bloodbend.
Oh yeah.
Katara. Is that
Watch out for Nikki and her bloodbending skills. Panky is a water.
Pisces.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Who else? I don't.
I know that because
Kay.
He's just sitting quiet, like, don't even there.
Okay, let's just move on
Yeah.
to the air sign. So air signs are very intellectual people.
Ooh.
Yeah, they talk a lot.
The Ravenclaw?
Yeah, the Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
You talk a lot, right?
A lot of reference.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
When she starts
talks
to
a lot.
talk about something, she really, knows about stuff.
Yeah,
Like the plants.
like the plants. Yeah.
With all the
We
scientific
witnessed
names
that.
too.
Mhm. They really talk a lot and they're very intellectual and they go everywhere in thirst for knowledge. And they're very fast. They like to get things done right away. But they're also very fickle. And they forget things.
Oh yeah. I'm
They
sorry.
forget things. They forget where they put their mugs, their keys, and everything. Air signs. Ate Chet is an air sign. Leia is an earth sign. Denver is an earth sign. Kat is an earth sign. Who else?
Earth sign? Air sign.
I mean air sign.
Okay.
I mean air sign. Who else? They are just really friendly people. They like relationships. They network a lot.
He says, you do like relationships.
Yeah, but sometimes they lack empathic. Is that it? Empathic relationships, like they don't go and they don't dive in too much on the emotional side. But they like people. They like talking. So those are the 4 elements, and it's interesting if you're like, oh, that's an earth sign characteristic, and oh, that's why you're like that because you're an air sign. You're an airhead. It's interesting that because we can understand people based on astrology and their elements and everything. But just because you're an air sign doesn't mean you're just an air sign.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of planets in your birth chart and we are composed of a lot of elements. But there are just those dominant elements that people can see, that can really see from you. And knowing and having that knowledge, you can truly understand them a little bit better. Yeah, so what else?
Also, like, moving on, you don't have a lot of time, but could you tell us, like, one word that would describe each sign?
Okay, Aries, adventure, Taurus, simplicity, Gemini, everlasting child, and then Cancer, the healer, Leo, the star, because Leos are over dramatic. I love Leos. The Virgo, structure, Libra, relationships, knowledge. They are the sweetest. Libras. They really are the sweetest. Scorpio, intensity. Sagittarius. They are kind of like Leo. They're the star. They're very passionate. Just gonna say that. Capricorn, what?
Think of yourself.
Yeah.
Capricorn, just get things done kind of person. Aquarius, quirky. They are living out of the box. They don't fit in, and they don't care if they don't fit in because they are doing their own style. Pisces, they're sweet. They're Pisces, Phoebe is like the epitome of a Pisces woman. Phoebe from Friends.
From Friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I
okay.
think so.
Alright, so I think that's all the time we have for today. So we thank Kat and Mafet for being our first guests for SOPHI Radio. If you have any suggestions or topics you want us to talk about, leave a comment below or email us at marketing@sophi-inc.com.ph.
Also, we are looking for volunteers, so if you have the knack for talking, send us an email.
Catch us again next month for another SOPHI Radio.